bouncing balls and all that stuff. And you talk about bouncing,
I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, hey, guys, back here, the Backwoods Brothers. Hey.
Wow, in year 2022.
2022. Like, is it 2022?
No, it's 2022. No. It's the year 2022. 22. Yeah.
22?
3 2s.
22. You want a 22?
Wow, bro. Says the guy who's wearing his slippers in the garage. Okay. Hey guys, we want you to share, like, and subscribe. We want
all in that order too.
All in that order, right? And we also want you to check out our YouTube and our I love my hands go all over weird.
Yeah, we still got the monitor.
We still got the monitor.
We got a monitor like right here. We can see ourselves.
Yes.
It's like I don't feel alone in here anymore.
No,
I feel like we're with somebody.
Joel, by the way.
I'm talking to Joel and you're talking to Tony. And
yes. But no, we want you to share, like, and subscribe. And we want you to check out our website. And actually, you know what? Just in case something happens, just make sure that you go to YouTube and continue watching us, okay? Just in case, you know, I say a blurb or whatever. But, man, it's good to see you this year. I haven't done anything wrong so far this year. Have you?
Yes. apparently, and I had to ask somebody else about this one, but apparently, I am now a grifter.
A grifter.
Yeah. I can add it to my 5th job. Apparently.
You can do more jobs.
Yes. But
are you really Joel? Because I've been hearing news about.
Oh yeah, and apparently I'm not who I say I am, and I'm a grifter.
A grifter.
Yeah.
I
have the entire town under my spell.
And there's aliases.
And my wife apparently has aliases.
So if you don't know what we're referring to, you know what? You can just check our local news or our local Facebook feed. Joel, I want to actually talk to you about a local Facebook feed, actually. You know, the title of our show is, what is the title of our show, brother?
It's called The Omicron is Coming!
Craze, if you saw the thumbnail. So, hey, I want to bring up, because we're going to be talking a lot about aggression on my side. You're going to be talking a lot about Omicron. I'm going to be talking a lot about how we're responding to Omicron and stressors in our lives. So I'm going to be becoming a little bit more of a therapist on the show as I do that in my pretend life. So
lay back and relax.
Lay back and relax.
And
get
tell
a
us
cup
your
of
problems
coffee.
on the chat.
Yes. And please actually do communicate, because this is what this show is about, is communication. But, you know, there's some things going on. You know, Facebook, I always try to tell my kid on Facebook to be careful what you place on there, because even if you might delete something, someone else has taken a shot or screenshot of it, or it might get shared in other places. So information
definitely
on the internet goes fast.
I've got lots and lots of records of what's been on the internet, especially recently.
Yeah, so there's a lot of records on the internet, and you can get them on your personal phone. It just dings all day long.
Yep.
So I always tell my daughter, be careful what she puts on Facebook, even though she doesn't have a Facebook post yet. But I also tell my daughter that there's power in our words. And I also tell her that life and death is in the power of the tongue. Also, life and death comes from the power of the written word as well. And it might be that, you know, you might think that you're being funny online, or you might be cheeky online, or sarcastic, or since we're talking about aggression, you can either be microaggressive, you can be passive aggressive, or you can just be plain out aggressive, or you can just give little, you know, little signals online too. Well, we had an aggressive act happen to us this week, and I'm not crying because we're not the crying brigade.
Well, that's because you were on camera now. You're
I was crying earlier. Yeah, I was crying, bro. Don't tell me those one of my things.
I know,
but. It was over. What the interesting part is, the person who sent this doesn't believe what he put down in Facebook. That's what made it a kind of a comical thing, but at the same time, surprising. And so, you know, I want to draw some attention to a group that I get to work with, and actually I'm quite excited about working with, and that is the LGBTQ group. I get a chance to do that every single day. There's a specialized training in everything that we do as counselors. So there needs to be special training when that comes to relationships and sexuality and all those things. There's specialized training when you're talking to people that actually wears their identity through their sexuality. And I deal with a lot of people who are traumatized through sexual misconduct. that are impressed onto them. So when I some statements that are put online or said used to be cute, but they're not cute anymore.
Oh yeah, and you know what I love about Backwoods Brothers is we like to report the news, right? And
So we're
talk about
reporting the news and facts.
actual things that happened. But you know, here's the thing too, and I'm going to say this. As an owner of Backwoods Brothers,
Mm-hmm.
I also choose to take the opportunity sometimes to, when my family and things I believe in come under attack, to choose to do something like that, to sometimes bring some of those things to light. In most cases, I stay back from it. You know,
You hold off.
I let people do their thing and have their speech, but sometimes they cross a line, and you know, and I think they cross a little bit of a line, and they cross the line not only on our family side, but they cross the line when it comes to others as well.
Yeah.
And that's what you're about to talk about.
And that's what I'm about to talk about, crossing lines when it comes to others. But when you get your heart and head involved in politics, sometimes your mouth doesn't follow your heart.
Yep.
And so I like to believe the best about this person who posted it because I believe their heart doesn't represent their words. I want to believe that. But one of the things that you do as you think through your response to things on Facebook, you always season it with a little bit of a love and a little bit of respect, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you can think what you want to think about me, Joel, but please give me respect and please give me love and let that be fueled by love. But see, some people would say that on our show, we don't share that through some of our slogans. You know, they might be a little sensitive towards those slogans.
Well,
and
one of the ones we hear about is fuck your feelings.
fuck your feelings.
Learn the facts.
Learn the facts.
Well, do you want to explain why?
Yeah, well, coming from a counselor, someone would look at that and say, why in the world is he endorsing that kind of statement? No one's actually come up to me and said that. But I want to tell you this. One of my thoughts about my feelings, I'm going to speak from a personal level. I am an empath. How many empaths are out there? I feel everything.
Do you think you can move stuff with your mind?
I can move stuff in my mind. Yes. I feel everything, bro.
Feel
I feel everything. You know this from being my brother. I feel everything. You tend to think a little bit more logical than I do. I feel first, and then I think twice.
You're
right?
more subjective. I'm more objective.
Right. And so that's kind of my construct. That's okay. But when I'm ruled by my feelings, although I know that I feel those feelings, I can be wrong in letting those feelings rule over me.
Oh, yeah.
And so sometimes I need the tough reality of fuck your feelings. Learn the facts behind why you feel that way. If you step on my foot, Joel, my foot's going to hurt depending on how much you step on it, right? Or how hard you step. So I'm going to feel that. But if you tap my foot and I go, ouch, and I say, why didn't you respond? Ow, why'd you do that? And I respond in such a big way, and I feel like, oh, well, you kicked me hard. Well, survey says you did not. You barely tapped me. So what's lying to me? The fact or the feeling?
Oh, of course, the feeling.
Thank you.
It's a subjective response.
It's a subjective response. And we all let our feelings go away.
Well, yeah, and
right?
Let's be clear. Subjective is okay. It's okay to have subjective
It is
opinion on
okay.
something.
Because feelings are indicators.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Subjective is okay as long as you don't let the subjective piece of it. Our producer is trying to find a mouse, and a mouse is in the screen in front of us.
Catch it, Brandy, catch it. I got it.
And when I say mouse, I mean computer mouse.
Look, are you feeling that she's doing that, or is it a fact?
No, that's actual fact.
Okay. I just wanted to
It
check on
distracted
that.
me. But if it's okay to have subjective feelings,
Right?
as long as you don't let those subjective feelings outweigh the objective reality around you.
Yes. And I know that people's perceptions are their reality, but then there's still facts out there. 2 and 2 do still make 4.
Your
Okay,
subjective,
that's a fact.
but your subjective reality may be your subjective reality to you.
Yeah.
But the rest, everybody else around you, is not going to be subjected to your subjective reality. They're going to be subjected to objective reality. There's a lot
Even
of
though we would like,
in there.
that was well said though, even though we would like them to see through our eyes. So, but you know, you stepped into the other person's shoes or people's shoes when you are addressing some of these falsities that are slung at you. And because of the placeholder that you place in our community and leadership, you know, everything rises and falls in leadership, but they always get shit. So those things happen. But sometimes people like sheep, sometimes, and we all are sheep, that's biblical.
They're really tasty.
Right.
Like a little bit of barbecue sauce. And, you know.
We don't tend to sometimes when we're upset bend to the best part of us. So I want to talk to you and give you some facts about the LGBT community or LGBTQ community. I'm going to give you some facts because I want to set this up to show that, this person's comment did spark me to learn more things about the actual subjective or factual experience of a person who's struggling with their sexuality. So the important risk factors to the LGBTQ community are when a person comes out. They realize that this is kind of the sexuality that they feel that they is their identity, and they come out. And when they come out, you may have people that embrace them or reject them. The next one is rejection. They face rejection. These are all things that are going on in their psyche, and they're happening to them emotionally and actually. Then there's trauma. Trauma could come out where someone could actually, we're against hurting people. You should never do it, but people hurt people.
Yep.
Substance abuse may come about because of feelings of hopelessness. Family's gone. This one really shocked me. With the LGBTQ community, there's possible homelessness. Why do you think homelessness, Joel?
It could be that they're rejected from family and friends,
Yep.
and or they reject themselves from the world.
Yeah. So sometimes we think homelessness is one thing, but it's a number of things that contribute to homelessness, and it could be that. And then last but not least is suicide. Someone could consider ending their lives. So I used to watch this show. I did watch the movie called Brokeback Mountain when it came out, and I had to actually watch it in my grad school years, so that we can get the experience of see the experience of what people are dealing with as a whole. And it got me to see that people are people. And what people want is love. And what people want is respect. And when those two things are violated, it leads a person to feel hopeless. It leads a person into feeling depression. And it's about 60% of the LGBTQ community and youth. And T. Yes, well, this is LGBTQ. Okay. Youth report it being sad and hopeless. They even stop doing the activities that they would have done before coming out. Okay? Which leads a young person to depression. And as a matter of fact, depression is mostly common. You would think in youth, but it's actually more in adults that adults reach depression because they have much more to lose.
Actually, that doesn't surprise me, to be honest.
Why do you say that?
Just because there's a lot more weight on the world as you get older.
A lot of weight on the world, right? So you're literally changing worlds. Once you come out, you are literally changing everything about yourself. So when I saw this movie, all those things became maybe a little bit more clear for me, the struggle behind the struggle. And so I looked at Brokeback Mountain in that movie that some people made fun of. Yeah. Right? In a little bit of a different way. I don't share my beliefs on this show in certain ways because I'm still trying to grapple through some of these things. But I do know this, they're people. I do know this, they have feelings. Well, yeah. I do know this, they are what we would call people who need to be reminded that they matter.
Exactly, and that's a pure thing when it comes down to the Word of God, and it comes down to Christ and things. God calls us to love unconditionally. He calls us to love the person. He says, hate the sin, love the person. Right. So no matter what you're having there, God still loves you.
God still loves you.
And so that's what I try to live by, is by God's love. So even if I don't agree with what you're doing, that's something between you and God. Now, when you try pushing it on me, it's a different story, but I'm not going to get in that conversation. Right. However, but what you choose to do is up to you.
But you still treat that person with love and respect.
Exactly. I'm still going to love and respect the person. I have a lot of friends who have made a lot of choices to be in the LGBTQ community. Right. That's their choice.
Some of you may have family members who are in that community, so you can resonate with what we're saying here. It's hard. I dealt with parents who've had their kids revealed to them, or vice versa. Had their kids, and there's a lot of hurt and a lot of trauma behind it. So we need to make sure that we are treating them well, and treating everybody well. But sometimes we can be really harsh with our words.
Exactly.
Which brings you to my point.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which brings you to my point that this week, I don't know if you're. I'm sure about my sexuality. I don't know if you are. Are you sure about your sexuality?
Damn sure. I'm sure my wife's sure about my sexuality.
Okay, so you're married to your wife. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm married to my wife, and I think most of you guys have seen our wives before, Backwoods wives. But we are happily married.
You need to see my wife because she's on the show tomorrow.
And she's on the show tomorrow. You cannot miss it, okay? Can't miss it.
Mhm.
But you've seen our wives, and we love our wives, and we know they love us, and they love us, and they love and they respect us. So there's no question about our sexuality, but some actually might think they know our sexuality better than we do.
Yeah, I know, and you know
Yeah.
they tend to like make comments that are extremely disrespectful towards people that are in there and struggling with it, and I think
Yeah.
it's kind of funny. And I don't know about you, but that's something that I make a joke about.
No, it's not something I make a
No.
joke about
So-
because,
Oh,
but you know what? Seeing is believing, right?
yeah, we've led up to about 20 minutes of this. Why don't we just go ahead and show?
Well,
what we're
let's
talking
just
about?
go ahead and show it because I did want to
Well,
set
should
that
go-
up. And we are an hour and a half show, so I better not take it up.
Yeah.
So we decided, can you read that for me, Joe?
It says Nicole Gardner. This is from Michael Anderley. Nicole Gardner Austin. So this photo was reposted on the Broke Back Bros page because they are owning the libs or something. So what they're inciting there is where they're basically trying to use.
Broke Back Bros. It was an interesting alliteration.
Mhm.
It just wasn't factual.
Well,
And I thought this person, could handle facts.
and we actually had some people that were
Yeah.
quite offended by it.
Quite
that
offended.
actually in that community.
And I do want to acknowledge that this person might have gotten it taken down or he had it taken down. Either way, it was inappropriate. But I want to
removed
show
now.
my response to that because I thought it was really, for me, pretty smart. So throw it up here. Why don't you read it?
So it says, this is from you. It says, Michael Anderley, it's pretty sad that a person like yourself is poking jabs at the LGBT community.
Or
You
Q.
got the Q.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Or whom I've worked with via my job and our sexual orientation. According to you, you, my good man, should be highly ashamed. Please read our title correctly. It's Backwoods Brothers. That's easy. Don't let the alliteration fool you. What a way to be a walking contradiction. Please practice restraint. This is someone who has tried to virtue signal us a few times. So
Yes. So I wanted to put that out there. It is, once you put it out on Facebook, it is an open season and for people to see.
And so my little quip in here I want to put is that if we were that wasn't up there very long, right?
No.
That was up there maybe 5, 10, 20 minutes maybe.
Oh,
Like that?
up 20 minutes?
Maybe how long was it up there on the?
You talking about the actual quote?
Before I got taken down. How long?
Oh, it was up there for a couple hours. Actually,
okay.
admittedly, some people, and I want to give credit to some people who are his friends, they just said, hey, this is inappropriate.
Yep. But the fact is that was up there for a short time, and that got snipped.
Yeah.
So I want to point out that there's a lot of stuff that's come out recently that every single item has said, including unfactual, defaming statements, have also been clipped for legal records. So
Your records. Okay.
So
So once you put it out there, guys, you can't. It's so easy to put it out, but it's harder to take it back. And I'm learning that actually being on Backwoods Brothers every single week.
Mm-hmm.
We do this live, so we don't get a second take. So it actually behooves us to make sure that we are doing our homework, that we're being intentional, and giving you the best quality show we want. So
exactly.
or that we can, I should say. But we're not perfect. So I don't hold this person up to being perfect. I just want, I want to learn from my mistakes. So I just hope that person does.
I want to read we have a whole lot of comments that have come in, flooding in. I want to kind of read them.
Good.
So it says, you guys do a lot, I feel. Thank you guys. A ton of us love in quotes, I love everything you guys do for the community. Lots of smiles and happy faces.
Woohoo!
Thank you.
That was
It's also to this guy too. I didn't see they may come in that order, so I'm reading them down the way. Sometimes someone's tone also can come off wrong when it's not always the case. Let me see if this is maybe. Hold on. Let me see if I missed a few that came out of order here or something. I got a question. Do they know anything about the variant from France? No, it might be called Le Frog.
there is a new one. I read it this morning, you guys. There is a new variant. I believe. Don't quote me on this, but it doesn't surprise me. So
how many variants of the flu are there?
I thought it was only one. Isn't the flu?
Tens of thousands of variants of the flu.
Well,
maybe even in the higher numbers.
Well, why'd you ask me? I look stupid now.
Well, no,
Go
I'm
ahead.
saying the flu variant. COVID is going to have variants every time. It's going to change. It's going to change. We'll get into that.
Oh, we will get into that because that's a craze.
Everything morphs. It's going to change. So, do you think the schools will be getting shut down again because of the new variant?
I heard about that today.
Yes, I do think.
I heard about that today.
I think they're going to be shutting the schools down.
Yeah.
They're already shutting down government buildings and everything else because they are over responsive a-holes. So, and they it's all about the power, and it's not about what they think it is.
Joel, we want to stay on. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, they are. What I'm saying is, when
no, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Can look. I was reading an article in Bloomberg magazine today that has been openly was talking about the facts of Omicron. It is literally half as strong as the Delta variant. It's half as many people in the hospital. It has half the effects, and you're over it in a couple days.
See, one of the I don't want to even go here yet. Let's wait for this. I want to talk about this because psychologically, what does it do to a person? I'm scared about the.
I'm a little pissed if you can't tell.
Well, I'm scared about the effects. There's such thing as fictitious. It's called fictitious disorder. It's where people begin. It's the suggestions there, but people begin to pick up. They feel a cold coming on, and all of a sudden it's Omicron or a variant. So it becomes cemented in their minds that when I get a sniffle, that something happens. And
and I'm going to talk to you.
Critical thinking is good.
I'm going to talk to you about herd mentality and a few things.
Herd mentality. That's what you're talking about.
A few things to talk about in that area. So
okay.
Here's a couple more things. Sometimes someone's tone can. I already think I read that, but sometimes someone's tone can also come off wrong when it's not always the case.
That's true. That's the subjective part.
I think the Omicron virus is made up. It has the same symptoms as the flu virus.
Don't you comment yet. Wait, hold it off, big guy.
I think I'll hold my tongue.
I'm not going to hold your tongue.
And I actually, don't hold my tongue, man. And get your Omicron on me.
Get your Omicron. Get your Omicron out of here. Go ahead.
Attacking you and Brandy is below the belt. I wasn't for you and Brandy making ECW happen. If it wasn't for you, sorry, I read that wrong. If it wasn't for you and Brandy making ECW happen, there wouldn't be a communities coming together to help everyone who is in need of things.
By the way, it's interesting because I didn't reveal this to anybody, but now I'm going to reveal it here. I just chose to do it here instead of online. I have just got reinstated back on the board of ECW. Let me tell you how I found out about ECW. Well, during the fires, we were living in a trailer, and the trailer, I think I already told you, was brought up. But when the fires happened, I decided I got a little bit antsy, went down to a help center that they were having down there at the Cazadero parking lot, and I saw a lot of people pick up a lot of things.
Just a little one. I'm not sure how you even found us.
Oh, just a little. It was just a little. No, it was the only big thing going on in town. Almost the only the only big thing going on in town that was that had an outpour of a lot of stuff that people needed. So I said I can get behind an organization. And just a while ago, and I'm not going to say too much, but we had an opportunity to just bless somebody who needed some stuff up in the mountains in their trailer. They needed some people to just help. And so it was the best thing. We got a chance to, this is not our main goal, but we got a chance to not only bless him, but to even pray with him. So, sometimes, and people are not the enemy. The battle is not against flesh and blood. But sometimes good outweighs the bad, but the bad doesn't like that the good's happening. So.
Exactly. I think I remember going with you. We were supposed to go work out one night, and we worked off like 15 minutes.
I remember that when I first met you.
We got like a random call.
No, actually, the funny thing is, can I say this? We were going to go work out, and we did work out, but we needed an excuse. And Brandy called you.
I wasn't going to say that part.
Oh.
I was like, we were so pumped to work out.
Oh, she said that's okay. We were pumped to work. Pump.
No, we were all pumped to work out. We were like, and then we got disappointed because we had to go redo something.
Yeah, but Brandy called you and said we need to go ahead.
we have a person that needs some help, and it was in the area we were at, and so we went over and we helped out, and I think you got a chance to pray with them, and
yeah.
The community is so awesome. While we were there working with somebody, someone else had heard about this person too and came up and randomly handed them some cash for some things that they needed right there while we were talking to them and stuff. And that was the community kind of coming together, and that's the type of community we have out here.
So we're about not letting the right hand know what the left hand is doing, but sometimes we need to put it out there that there are community helps around, and there are people that are volunteer, not paid, even up to the highest level, they're not paid, that refuse to be paid. And so, and believe me, I know that because I tried, and I got beat up. But I'll tell you about that on another show by myself because I don't want to give you that. But they are people that are on there to spend their lives to just help other people. So you might think, why are we talking about this so much? Because we're excited about serving. That's all.
Do I look Russian?
You do look Russian. Go ahead. Why don't you speak? I'm taking over. Go ahead.
I want some bush.
He likes this screen.
I do.
Wow.
I look Russian right now.
Dude, really?
Anyways,
Come on.
so some more comments.
Okay.
We see and feel the world around us based on our past experiences.
Absolutely.
If someone reacts, chances are it's about their past, not their present situation, not the present situation.
You're very right. Nature, nurture.
I'm blocked by people who reacted rather than ask questions. Yep, that's happened to me.
Yeah.
And I think a bunch of us. Stupid thing work.
Yeah.
Stupid tablet. Stop it. I don't want to give. It wants me to put reactions on these. Hurt people. Hurt people.
Okay, so
But
can I say
that
something to
doesn't
that?
give them a free pass.
I love to give them free pass.
It does not give them a free pass.
That does not give them a free pass. Brandy last week said something about that phrase, and I hope I'm quoting her right, that she said she didn't really appreciate that phrase, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I would love for you to type in or something, or let us know why you don't, because I thought it was a good point that you made, and I didn't remember it. So.
Okay, and the second comment right below it says, hurt people, but that doesn't give them the free pass to abuse and slander others either.
That's why.
Yep. That was it. Okay.
Yep. Will the depression in adults change with a new generation coming up with more acceptance? Yeah, I want to talk about the acceptance piece here.
That's a good question, though.
Let me get into that in here in a little ways, because I have some talk around I do on that, but I want to get some more of these, because we're actually falling behind on comments. They're hitting it so hard.
Wow, nice.
Our son already had issues in school, but was keeping his grades otherwise up. But after all this, he doesn't even care to participate at all. He would rather sit and stare at the ceiling than do any schoolwork.
Is it because of COVID? Is she talking about that, or is it talking about because
also
of
just because
COVID? Mm-hmm.
I say that it also could just be the fact that, like me, I'm always stubborn in school, and I'd rather just not do it and do nothing than to do my homework just because I was a punk.
But I'm a person.
Not saying that your son's a punk or anything.
Well, before you say anything else, no. But there are some students that like to learn, and they're social beings. We are all social beings, and that's actually what we're going to be talking about in aggression. As we become separated and isolated, depression is going to be very much of a possibility.
And I agree completely.
And anxiety.
Completely. So, I don't think they will shut schools down. I think they will end up end all activities that motivate kids to attend school. I really hope you're right, but I strongly believe that the school shutdown is coming back around. And I don't even know if it's going to be from the local school board's option. I have a feeling that dictator Kate is going to use this to glue another power grab like she has. She's already extended the emergency orders all the way out to June, before we even have any really good idea what's going on with Omicron. Why would she request to extend the emergency orders for half a year? Why didn't she go for a few months or even a month or two, and then ask to extend it until she gets further?
Let me ask you a question.
She asked for all the way to June.
Let me ask you a question. Why are you asking why? Is there really an answer? Because we've been asking the why question of her
Well, we know
for 2
why.
darn years.
We know the why, but
Yeah.
this is, again, just to kind of make
I
it present
know.
to people's thoughts. They need to understand that this is not a normal thing.
It's not normal.
And
it's not
now,
normal.
I will say she did go through, and the representatives that they're supposed to serve you agreed and okayed this, rather than going common sense that says, hey, this is something where we're making an emergency pact that allows someone who's already abused it for 2 years to take those freedoms. We're going to extend that power right back to her again, and guess what? She can start taking those freedoms again, and they just push it out for 6 months.
Let me tell you what the impact
That
is.
is a complete failure of the upper system.
Well, and the impact on the kids in the school is you put them in school, they see their friends they haven't seen, only to say, I'll see you later, and I'll come back. If kids need stability, and this is from the top down, there's no stability.
Well, that's because we have
There's
no common sense in our upper government. If they have no idea what it's like to actually be on the ground.
But they're parents.
They're completely no, I'm saying is
some of them are.
They may be parents, but they seem to be completely disconnected from the rest of the population.
Cognitive dissonance.
they don't seem to understand what the people out here are saying, or they don't care.
Yep.
And that's the thing is, the representatives are not there to dictate to us what to do.
Mhm.
They're there it's the other way around. The representatives are there to receive the dictation from the people, and then to execute on the will of the people.
Joel,
that is the purpose of a representative, is to execute the will of the people.
and Joel,
And
that's
not
what
the other way around.
that's what you represent.
Mhm.
That you've represented that from the ground up. You are where you are in other areas of our politics because you were elected by the people for the
Exactly.
people.
I didn't take my position as a city councilor by power. I didn't take it. I was given it, and by being entrusted by the people to do the job that they've entrusted me to represent them, to listen to what they have to say, and even if it comes against what my personal or political beliefs may be, if that is contradictory, then I still have to make that choice because I'm there to be that voice of the people. That is my job as an elected representative. It is to represent them.
And when you come to the edge of your term and the people no longer think you can represent them, what do? Do you kick and scream and
No.
piss and moan?
If I'm no longer able to do the job that they've asked me to do, it is my responsibility to step aside and let the person that they think can do the job step in. And then I will hold my head up high and know that the time I was in there, I was able to at least.
Ooh.
I will hold my head up high and know that the time I was in there, I served the people, and I served them with doing everything that I believe that I was supposed to do as a representative, and to be their voice, and to move on.
Sometimes people overstay their welcome.
Yeah, my job is not sit there to fight for the position that I have. My job is to simply listen to the will of the people, and to move forward on that one.
Man, I'm back. We're back in the show, aren't we?
Because people are. This is more stuff. This one simply says forwards. Because people are nuts.
We can't use that in the office.
I don't know what
okay.
point. I'm not sure what point that came into the show, but hey, whatever.
People are nuts.
Shutdowns are power. Keep people scared. You can control them.
Yep.
I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. Divide them more.
Yes.
You can dehumanize the unvaccinated. Dehumanized people become the ones the government executes. I'm not going to go to that far, guys, but hey, you know what? You are welcome to believe in that areas. I don't know if they're going to go as far as that, but hey, I really hope that that you guys are wrong and I'm right, but only for the fact is I don't want people executed. But you know,
I hope it doesn't go that far too.
It wouldn't be the first time in history that it's gone that way.
But
so I have to say that much.
There is a lot of execution with words.
There's a lot of execution with words, but at the same time, there are historical references in our history where that's actually gone that far by the government. And there's even more recent history as far as genocide and ethnic cleansing that happens in other foreign countries all the time.
Yes.
So Omicron is real, but interestingly, the Israel land have shown it's related to the common cold. Interesting. I'd love to see that one. I haven't seen that one yet. The good always gonna win, regardless if the bads are trying to bring down the good people. We will always prevail over the bad omens. It's true, but everybody may not always understand what the good always wins. Sometimes overcoming evil is not always simply just being the stronger one. It's a stronger one, but you don't always see it. Sometimes you have to be willing to take the burden of the bad long enough for them to see the good. And then that's when good overcomes.
Ooh.
So, but that's just me.
I don't have anything else to say with that.
So
it's very true.
there's a lot more comments in here. We want to talk a little bit about our end real quick, and then we're going to come back to the questions.
We are so glad. Keep on bringing them in. Maybe we just answer a question for an hour and a half. Okay.
Yeah, we could be.
Yes, we have a lot of good information though.
Yeah, there's a lot of good comments coming in. I want to keep reading them. But
come on, you guys. We love you.
So you've had something up on your screen for a little while. I'm going to give you a chance to read it.
No, actually, you're going to set it up with the Omicron because that's where we're going to go. But I wanted to go with the aggression in times of COVID.
The Omicron is coming. Omicron. 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 The Omicron is coming. Sorry.
He just wants to see himself with the screen. Man. The social cost of the pandemic. I call it the perfect storm. Pandemic and politics.
People that may have joined and may not have seen the original part.
Oh.
Can you pull the thumb up now?
Yeah.
I want to show why I was doing that.
Yeah.
Die at this one.
He loved whatever that purple thing was.
I think it was pink, actually.
Or pink? Was it pink?
Yeah, and most of you may know what that is if you don't.
But we can't say what that is, can we?
Yeah, because we don't want to hit some sort of copyright issue.
Hey guys, this word, as Joel's getting set up to talk about Omicron, I wanted to. The biggest thing is I wanted to talk about. So it's Omicron Craze. That's the title. The Omicron Craze. I
That's
can't
what
say
I
that.
came up with.
It was good.
She
but,
still keeps losing her mouse.
but it sounds like a transformer. So Omicron. But no, one of the things
It does sound like a transformer.
it does like a transformer.
It's shifting and transforming.
Meet Omicron. I
Take
am
away
Omicron.
your freedoms.
Yes, now you got me doing it. Anyways, so I wanted to read a definition really fast about what aggression is, because a lot of people, and I'm going to say the left, a lot of the left, and some right, but a lot of the left tend to use the word aggression to describe something that is very minimal at its core, suggestion. But aggression is behavior carried out with the intention to cause physical or psychological harm to others. Just because Joel gave me a quarter instead of a dime or instead of a dollar doesn't mean he's showing aggression towards me or being abusive. I just might not, whatever. But I'm just saying it's a behavior that's carried out in an intentional act to cause harm. That's aggression. And there's been a lot of aggression. There's been a lot of crime. There's been a lot of things that you've heard around the country. You've heard of the smash and grab or the grab and smash down in California.
Can I change a word you used here?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily just to cause harm, but to cause hurt.
Well, yes.
And I want to specifically use that.
Harm and hurt?
Yeah, because sometimes we say things not necessarily to cause harm, but to hurt someone too.
That's true.
So
that's true.
I just want to put that in there because a lot of things said online are using a passive aggressive approach to it, and it's meant to cause that hurt, but not necessarily cause them harm.
Let me tell you why I don't like passive aggressive, because it's usually from people that can't say what they need to say, so they go around Robin Hood's barn and say it, or they hold back for so long and then they're aggressive about it. Mm-hmm. So passive aggressive is kind of that deceptive type of thing that happens, and it does hurt. It's meant to, because they're hurting, but they can't express their hurt, so they wait, and then they do it, and it's passive aggressive. Passive aggressive.
Well, you know what? What else we should be waiting on?
Huh.
To continue this after the break.
Well, you're being passive aggressive, though. Okay.
I think I was being pretty forward about that one.
Take us out, man. Take us out, bro.
Hey, guys, we are at the break, and the producer's yelling at me. So we're not really yelling. She's passive aggressively posting.
Wow, I think she's micro-aggressively.
No, she actually doesn't. Oh, yeah, it isn't there. Okay,
so
mind.
hurt.
No, good. Yep. And so,
You're
guys, hey, we want you to keep commenting. We got lots in here. We're gonna keep reading them. And in the words of Mother Russia, we'll be back.
He loves that hat.
I love this hat. This is a great hat. And they got the coat and everything.
It's making him speak.
Yards left, just grass and sweat. Overtime, 2 minutes left. Defending that win means everything to this town. Each Friday night, it's what we knew. Home field and out of town too. Cheering them on was all that we could do. Afraid to hold the line. So when we need to come together, they always choose what's right, 'cause that's a small town fight. Sign small town fight. Home or away, there will always be a fight. We'll battle this together and we'll be alright. Hometown tragedy strikes. Fire burns through the night. They say it's a lost cause, better pull back the crew. But our town stayed and they fought through, 'cause leaving that line isn't what we do. We held this ground and saved our little town. Hey, yeah. Our warriors, they're defenders, not afraid to hold the line. So when we need to come together, they always choose what's right. We always choose what's right, 'cause that's a small town fight. That's a small town fight.
What
Whoa!
are you doing?
We're on, bro.
Hey, again.
Woo.
You know,
Hey!
I'm so glad this TV's here. You don't know what words are coming out of there, you know. Just don't ask.
Oh.
Anyways, guys, hey,
What is he doing?
quick question. This is a comment, by the way.
Uh,
Quick question. I just heard about the tone issues. The tone issues?
The tone?
Tone?
Tone.
Sense of tone issues.
Oh.
You know, it's the tone issues.
Tone.
They're one huge problem: written communication, like text, email, social media, and even letters. However, the Brokeback Brothers comment had no mistaken tone. It was stated like he meant it. But the problem with the communication, other than face to face, is you miss the tone of voice, inflection, facial reactions, and other visual signs. So basically, I think they're saying sometimes you can say something and you mean it one way, but it comes off as like, you know, like when you're like, "Hey, fuck you."
Yeah.
You know,
I accept that. I do. I like the way you said it. It's not what you said, it's the way you said it.
No, but it's actually true.
No, it's very true.
I feel like if someone told me they're trying to tell me to go screw myself.
Yeah.
Hey, go screw yourself, man.
Man, I mean the best. I have the best for you, but you are fucking wrong.
Yes, I can take that a lot better, you know.
Yeah. I just.
Rather than
was
saying,
it the touch?
Yeah, or like, hey, you know what? You're number one.
Oh, thank you.
I'll let you guys figure out what that means.
Yeah, Seattle skyline. That's all I have to say. Okay.
All right. Hurt people only have one emotion to share. They want the world to feel their pain because they cannot verbally express it.
Woo!
Keeping things
Did Dr.
closed
Phil come and
means-
join us? That's awesome.
Keeping things closed means Brown can pass laws with zero public input. Yep.
Yep. Truth.
So, and there's a bunch more statements here. I'm going to get to them in just a minute. But
Y'all want to get to Omicron? Come on.
well, I want to get to Omicron, but we just got it. We just got this freshly
No,
breaking.
this is good
We got
stuff.
some freshly breaking news.
Oh, you
during,
do?
during
What?
the break.
What?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm going to read something that was written into us. So.
Can I drum roll?
Okay. This was this. I'm going to read it word for word for here. Okay. It says, I'm Kurt Schweiger, an Estacada resident who's witnessed firsthand what is laid out on the recall. Like, don't go speak to at the Clackamas County Board meeting, end quote. Then Katie, as a sitting counselor, posted on Facebook to another Estacada resident, "Whoa, stop with the pitchfork and torches." She knows what the inference is by saying that. she accused the lady of being a racist, white nationalist, because that's what the actual racists and bigots did at Charlottesville, where one lady was tragically killed. I think this was a clip out of a newspaper, so we might try to get the more of the references up to that. I'm still going, by the way, guys. Katie has also said, quote, "We do not need to bring this to the citizens," unquote. Any outlay of money of $10K should have citizen input. She wanted to spend $150,000 on basically what would be an inspection of the Red Fox. She doesn't get that Estacada does not have the resources to make the Red Fox a transition facility, limited health care, limited mental facilities, unless you want the mental health professionals to treat these people on a sliding scale. Oh, and what about law enforcement? If someone at setting like they want to do at the Red Fox has a mental health crisis, it's going to be 30 minutes to get law enforcement, and how long will you wait on hold? So, and I think I read something wrong or typoed it or something, but all right. So here's the rest of it. Estacada has a big heart, yep, but we don't have the infrastructure to support it. And the Red Fox issue is why I'm personally signing the recall and will stand out in the rain for signatures. Katie's out of touch, and the recall makes the ballot. And if the recall makes the ballot, I'm running for city council. So what that basically is saying is, according to the statement here made, is that Kurt Swigert, who is currently on the DEIC right now, good guy.
Good guy.
It says that if Councilor Katie Dunsmuir is in the petition gets enough signatures and she is put on the ballot, that he will be running against her for city council. And I haven't heard yet, but I'm wondering if he might even consider, if for some reason she doesn't make the recall, if he might consider running at the end of the year.
So that's a question to you, Kurt.
I think what we're going to do is I might consider having Kurt on the show at some point in the near future to talk about
I
his
think
position.
so. I think so. I've been trying to go to lunch with him, but I have to admit, I dropped the ball yesterday, and he had something better to do today, like hang out with his wife. So that's a good thing.
Okay, so let's switch gears back. I just wanted to put that out there.
Kurt, we love you.
Yeah,
man.
Back to Omicron Con.
Omicron. Kurt and Omicron. Does that go together? No, it doesn't. They're not the same. They're not the same, people.
All right. So Omicron. So originally started out of India.
I thought it started no.
India.
South Africa.
South Africa. Let's say India. It is South Africa. I'm sorry.
I got one.
That is why he is here. To correct me when I get my head mixed up.
No, I was just happy to actually be right about something next to you. Go ahead.
You know, man. Now you got me confused.
I read,
well, originally there were stories that was coming out of Africa, South Africa, and India.
That's the new one. I don't know what comes.
I want to say India. I actually want to say India because that's what I was reading.
Somebody correct us. I think it's Africa. I think it was South Africa.
No, I'm gonna check this up for you. Anyways,
yeah, fact check you. Fact check.
But it's supposedly the things that I did read and I read today.
Yeah,
this is the most information today.
Okay,
because the articles didn't talk where it came from today. Now I read that a week ago.
Yeah.
Omicron has already been tested. And this is according to Bloomberg put an article out about it. And they're talking about some of the facts. Omicron actually has showing that it is filling hospitals at half the rate. It is also showing that it is causing most people are getting over it in 2 to 3 days, and the symptoms are half as bad. And the death toll of it has been only those that have underlying conditions, pre-existing conditions, and that it's about half as the rate of the previous death rate.
Right, and I was told that the vaccines are enough to
actually they say
right?
The last I heard is the vaccines are completely useless for the Omicron.
And for completely useless because at the beginning they were saying it was
they were saying get your vaccine because it'll help you with against Omicron. Now they're saying the vaccines are useless and they have to find a booster for it. And they're trying to say
I was told that if you get the vaccine you'll never die. I think one of our higher ups said that too. I was like, even if I could step out from a truck, if I have a vaccine, I might not be dead. But that's false news, guys. By the way, don't do that, please.
Yeah, don't test
Don't do that. Don't do it.
But what I'm looking at the origination. There it is. But what I have been looking up is to try to figure out, there's this big thing, and I've talked to a bunch of different doctors about this, and I think I need to have one of them on to talk about it. And that is that's
a good idea. Natural
immunity versus the shot. And what does it actually play, and how is it working with Omicron? Currently, right now, there's mixed results on that one, but they're starting to show that if you've had the Delta variant, that you actually have stronger immunity. If you actually had COVID of the Delta variant, you have stronger immunity against Omicron than if you have a shot. And that they've also shown that.
Where's that information?
I was reading different articles online over the last couple of days.
Do your homework, guys.
I was doing, and like I said, I've always say, don't take my word, don't take Tony's word.
Nope.
Go do the research yourself. Look at least 3 to 5 different sources. Yep. Try to find maybe 1 or 2 big areas. Go to CDC, but also try to find something that's a smaller, more. Try to get something from both sides of the aisle, so that way you're getting the more common information you find that overlaps each other. That's more likely to be actual facts.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of what I do. I'll look at like NBC, CBS, and one of those places. I'll look at the CDC. I'll look at some of the other like the World Health Organization for their information. Yeah. And then I'll go to places like Epoch Times, or I'll go to like the Ben Shapiro Show and kind of pull some, which is the Daily Wire. Pull some information out of there. I'll also look at some of the, and I like to, when I dig into them, when they put scientific articles attached to it, I go dig into those.
Yeah. That's what I like about our viewers. They will listen, but then they will go and do their own research, because that's the thing. I have a doctor. I go to my doctor, but I actually try to do research even before I go to my doctor, because I want to ask him some questions, bounce it off of him. And 9 times out of 10, if you have a good doctor, they will, if they don't know an answer, they'll go, you know what, let me find that out. So definitely take what you hear and do your own homework.
You were correct. It was South Africa.
South Africa! Woo!
November 14th, 2021.
I don't know why I'm happy about that, but
anyways. Was the first time
anyways.
they found it in South Africa.
Yeah, so, South Africa.
I stand corrected.
That's okay. Oh, yes, he says that in his voice.
Mother Russia was wrong.
Okay. Slap some more facts on us, bro.
Anyways, so, and like I said, obviously I can be mistaken in my facts and get things mixed up in my head, so by all means, please, I do my best to provide to you what I can read and find and stuff out there.
That's it.
But by all means, please, don't take my words for everything. Look into do it yourself and try to share with you what we can.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but Omicron basically, because they're relating it a lot more closer to a cold than they are the original Corona or the Delta variant, which has been much stronger.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
And what's causing people to actually die when they get the Omicron is the same thing it did for COVID and everything else, is they develop like pneumonia, and usually when they have an underlying condition, when you get pneumonia or sort of an infection, that's when it actually causes one thing to cascade into another.
Okay.
So, but the thing is, here's what I want to give people, and this is what I want to do. Don't be afraid of Omicron or of COVID. It is not meant to run your life. It's no different than you can get the flu and get the pneumonia and have something happen. You can go out and you can get a cold that can go into it. You can get anything that can cause you a fever, infections. All these different things can cause you to go into the same direction. But you can't live your life in fear and hiding in a box. And I don't know about you, but I think the rest of the people out there are just tired of hiding in a box, because the big bad Omicron is not coming like that. It's coming, but it's not something you should need to go run and hide from. It's more like a little tiny thing on your way, Yeah.
Well, we've gotten so fearful that we don't go back to the basics of keeping hygiene, washing your hands. If you cough, please cover your mouth. I don't want your cough on me. Do the things that we do to make sure that we're not sick. I have to always tell my daughter, don't go out in the cold without a coat. You need a coat on.
Do the common sense thing.
The common sense things.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they're not wearing out. Their fear is one of the most powerful weapons in control.
But you know what is also? Fear is brought on by stress. And what does stress do to your body?
Oh, it's hard on your body.
It hits hard on your body.
Oh, yeah. That is actually one
breaks down your... Yes, go ahead.
They can relate that back to a lot of deaths, heart attacks, and other different things that happen in your body where it breaks down. Stress is one of the hardest things on your body.
It leaves your body open without the defenses.
Exactly. Actually, if you're under extreme stress, it's actually been shown that your immune system will break down.
Yes.
But here's the thing: is that fear is when it comes down to the physiologic side, yes, but fear on a not only emotional, but we're going to go on a political level. Fear breeds control. It's been used in every country and dictatorship in all of history.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe me, look in a history book.
Yeah.
Look at Russia. Look what they did in Egypt. Mm-hmm. Look what they did in Germany. Look what they've done in Mexico even. Mm-hmm. Look what they've done in most third world countries. Look what they did under Britain and what we left out of it. They basically sent and they flooded Jamestown with troops to try to scare people into avoiding revolution. Mm-hmm. Fear is a control that the government tries to use to control people. Don't let them drive you into fear. Knowledge overcomes fear.
Good. You know, and also knowledge might give you a healthy fear. Mm-hmm. Okay, a healthy fear is different than a fear. Healthy fear is, if I step in front of that bus that's hurling towards me, I'm probably going to get squashed, right? So that's a healthy fear of an object that is that is a threat to you.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, if the object is not coming towards you then why am I going to fear? That's paranoia, which goes into,
exactly.
it just cascades on itself. But you're right, because I was going to talk about the perfect storm. The perfect storm for fear right now is the threat of a pandemic and then politics.
Yep.
That you put those mixed bags. I was talking to a couple people, and these last 2 years, remember politics used to be at the dinner table a taboo subject?
Oh, yeah.
Well, man, I heard so many people come into my office and say, I no longer talk to my cousin because my cousin brought it up and I almost throat punched him. So it's just, you can see families really being split over politics and then over pandemic. Yep. And then you have this big cascading
That's the thing is, it's the division that's come from it is so ridiculous. And the media just plays on it because the media does not know how to present their facts with positivity and with
accuracy too.
Well, I was gonna say with unbiasedness, but
unbiasedness.
Just recently, in our own town, and I called them out on it recently because someone opened up the door for me to do it. Mm-hmm. Our own newspaper from Pamphlet Media, for us to get a news, put on an opinion piece regarding and it's an opinion piece regarding the recall, and they swayed to not sign the recall from the opinion piece. Well, I mean, how much more unbiased can you get? You want a news company that's going to be unbiased in their opinion.
Let me ask you one question.
One way or the other.
Let me ask you a question. Now, if this opinion piece only have a piece published to not sign it, or did they also have another opinion?
I didn't see
on the opposite end to do sign it.
I haven't seen it on both sides.
I haven't seen it. I only seen it for not signing it.
No, I haven't seen it for the I've seen the article. I haven't seen the opinion piece that says to go ahead and to sign it. I've seen one opinion piece that gives a whole bunch of facts about why they shouldn't sign it.
Right.
Or sorry,
but not a counter.
Not facts. I'm sorry. Gives opinion statements. On why they shouldn't sign it.
Opinions are not facts.
And then basically urges them not to sign it. Yeah. And that is the most biased thing you can do, is to sway one way, especially when it comes to politics. If it's a good newspaper and they are good writers and they are a good company and they're a good news source, what they're going to do is they're going to present both sides.
Yes, I would have an opinion for why to sign it and an opinion for why not.
Exactly. Get two people.
Yeah.
To write two different pieces.
Yeah.
And present them together as what you think.
Together.
If you as a news company have an opinion one way, well, keep that to yourself, or write it and then find another one to put in there and make it balanced. Or how about present the news and not opinions?
Well, I know we're talking about the politics. We're not talking about the pandemic, and because it's so quote unquote, they love to call it bipartisan. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
But is there such thing, Joel, as unbiased news?
Not today. Not today anymore. Not anymore.
No.
But here's the thing is, I do want to give them the credit where credit is due. At least they identified it as an opinion piece.
That's true. That's true. But there's a counter opinion. So I'm looking for someone to publish an article on why you should sign it. Like, I want to see both sides.
I would love for all our writers out there to go ahead and write that piece, and try to send it in to Tampa Media. If they're not going to print it, if they're not going to put it out, send me the piece, and I will happily put it out on our site.
Okay.
Honestly, no, I'm going to go both ways with this, and I'm going to make sure I'm eating my own dog food here. If you send me an opinion piece on both sides, one opposing and one for, I will post one opposing and one for on our site.
Yes, and it is an opinion. So
it's an opinion piece, and it will be identified as an opinion piece. But we're not a news site.
Yeah.
But I want to at least be saying, hey, if the news, who should be unbiased
and fair,
I'm going to take an unbiased approach in this one.
Just yeah.
But me personally, I signed it, and I'm pro signing it, and I'm pro pushing it because I did my own research. I didn't listen to anyone else's opinion on it. I did my own research. I looked at the facts that they presented. I saw a lot of it firsthand. And so I chose to go and sign it. And specifically what I saw that really pushed me into signing it and agreeing with this was the way that she presented herself. That's Councilor Dunsmuir when it was first announced.
Now, we have some people that are not watching local. So, guys, we're participating in our local government's democracy at its best. Mm-hmm. But we have a person in our local government that, our local offices here, a councilwoman that has various, on both sides, people who are for her, people who are not. And so there's a recall, and that's what normally happens when there are situations like this. And so when Joel is speaking, even though he happens to, and there's no mystery, he happens to be a councilman, he's not coming from that perspective.
Yes.
People, he's not coming from that perspective. He's coming from...
I need to say this openly right now because I've been very clear on it.
Yeah.
Everything I'm saying in regards to the recall and everything I say on the show is of my personal opinion. It is not representing myself as a city councilor. That is a separate issue, and I will not speak on the recall when it comes to a city councilor. I'm solely speaking on my personal position as a voter.
I have faith in people that they're smart.
Yes.
I have faith in people that they could distinguish Joel as Joel, the man, the husband, the father whose kid goes to our local school, who is a person who will soon hopefully own a home here. And so you are a person. You are a person. You wear the hat of this, and you wear the hat of this, but you are a person in the community.
Or the Russian hat.
So he has every right to speak on his own behalf. So, with that being said, damn straight, bullshit. The pandemic has also affected what I coined aggression on an interpersonal level. So I'd love to hear how many of you guys are really like dealing with that, and also produces worries. In intergroup conflict. So, there's a lot of group conflict. There's one of the reasons why we one of the reasons why we started Backwoods Brothers is because it came out of conflict during the whole George Floyd event. Me and Joel had a lot of robust conversation about it, and I thought, man, why don't we make this? We were able to. I had some points. He had some points. And we were able to meet in the middle on some points. I've never been a victim. I will say that you have a lot of... Wait. Actually, listen to that. Actually, you had a lot of explaining yourself. Hey, guys, I have never been a victim. I never will be a victim. Okay? The day that you see me as a victim, slap me upside of my head, but let me know it's coming because I won't be able to see it. But like he didn't do. But
I didn't really hit him. I promise.
But getting back to my point, guys. There's conflict. There's conflict everywhere, and we've been through what we call massive trauma. So massive trauma, health-wise, you dealt with health in your own home when you had COVID.
Yep.
When your wife had COVID.
Yep. My daughter did not have COVID.
Your daughter didn't have COVID,
but she was
scary.
positive.
She was positive.
Yep.
So, but it was scary for really your wife. It was scary. And you had to make a decision because, and I'm not sharing her story because I don't share health stories, but you did share it already. Mm-hmm. You had to advocate for your wife to make sure she did not get certain things that they wanted to give her for her own personal health.
A certain organization.
You did.
Amongst turning him in for malpractice, which I've already told the story, so you can watch it a few episodes back when I had
But
COVID.
this is the stress that you were under. you were put into a place where you had to advocate for your wife to not get something that was widely pushed on her. Have you ever had to do that before?
To not, so I had
To that extent, have you
Okay.
ever had to?
to have ever had to fight for her medically to get the treatment she needed, or you
To
talking
get the
about
treatment that she needed, but not get the treatment that they
you mean
thought she needed.
not to get the COVID shot?
Yeah.
You mean? Well, yeah, we've had a fight for that, but being lupus,
Yes.
being
Yes.
lupus, we've had a fight, but in most cases, I mean, if she didn't have the history of lupus, I could probably say no to that.
Mm-hmm.
But because she's had lupus, and lupus has been a hard battle from the beginning,
Yeah.
and because it's only started to become more and more well known. I have had to fight battles not to get one thing and for her to get the proper treatment.
But
so I can't honestly
It was a life
say,
or death for her.
And yes, in this case it was. It has not been in the past.
Right.
Well, she's had some malpractice stuff has happened, but
Okay.
yeah, and so I see where you're going with that. Where you were going with that conversation.
Yeah. It's a life or death thing where you're damned if you do with some people and damned if you don't.
Yeah,
with
and
some
in
people.
this
You've
case
never been in
here-
a double bind like that, have you?
In this case here, the fight that I had to make was there was a treatment that she was actually prescribed from the doctors to get, and the organization was literally fighting us to not get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it took, like I said, threats of lawsuit, malpractice, turning them over for insurance fraud. Those are the third thing, and the fourth thing was I was ready to come call them out here on the show and just basically lay the whole thing out for the organization, put doctors' names, nurses' names, and everything else right here on the table for the entire world to see and spread it around the world. But they caved and they gave her the treatment the original doctor had to prescribe for her. They gave it to her, and guess what? It saved her life.
Well, so where we're talking about stress. We're talking about stress. Was that a stressful time for you? Because you were sick yourself.
Yeah, I was still going through COVID and had to deal with this crap.
You had to deal with it. So you never had to deal with this, but on top of a pandemic and all of the politics and everything, you were under stress.
Yes.
Economic stress. You weren't probably under economic stress, but a lot of people are working from home. A lot of people are out of work because of the pandemic.
Yep.
So that's more stress. The freedom of movement.
Well, you're missing losing their businesses.
Losing their businesses.
Losing their businesses.
Didn't one just close down that we knew of?
Yeah, Spud Monkeys closed down.
Yeah.
But I don't know the full details of that, but part of it I believe was a big portion of it was indeed the COVID and what happened with all that. So
yeah, so businesses closing down.
so businesses
people's
here in town
dreams.
closed down.
Business in town. I remember.
'Cause I know one person that sunk their entire life savings into it and has lost their business because of COVID.
I wish we can say her name.
It's not because let me fix something here that I
Okay.
keep hearing. I'm tired of hearing.
Okay.
It's not from you. It's in people in general. It's not COVID that caused it. It is the bad decisions of the leadership above that caused them to close it.
Yes. Yes. Let's put the blame on where it belongs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The virus didn't cause them to do it. The decisions of leadership caused them to do it.
Yeah, it was those decisions. The decisions of movement of freedom. Freedom of movement, I should say. I said it backwards.
As I mentioned earlier, mob mentality.
Mob mentality.
Mob mentality.
Yep, you're stuck in your house, and then and also social relationships that are broken.
That's the thing is mob mentality with all this and this whole mask and everything else.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't actually talk to people, especially earlier on in this whole thing, and you started asking them about the science and the information behind the mask, 99% of the people, I'm sure, and this is just my 99%. There's no survey behind it I'm referencing.
Yeah.
But I'd say 99% of people out there probably couldn't spout anything off to you besides maybe what they might have heard on the news, and that wasn't any scientific information. It's just that masks are good. Now, am I saying that masks? Let me put it this way. I saw something that actually I loved it because it was very true. When I was in the military, I was certified and trained to wear a MOP suit. I understood NBC, nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare. I was trained into it. I was trained into it to a degree. I was a medic. I was trained in things up to mass trauma, pandemics, and things like that, and dealing with it because.
So you were trained in actual pandemic
I was
work.
actually trained in pandemic because of the fact that I was a medic, and part of our job would be possibly to be deployed out to a pandemic. I was trained in a lot of stuff.
Right.
That was I went in the military. Now, did I deal with the pandemic in there? No. In fact, I dealt with like Katrina and those type of things, mass casualties. I dealt with mass casualties.
You dealt
in
with
Afghanistan.
Katrina.
I dealt with a lot of sickness in Afghanistan. I worked a lot inside the clinics there. I dealt with a lot of stuff in my time. I probably treated tens of thousands of people in the course of like a year and a half. Like
wow.
It was packed all the time going, and I worked a lot in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of different things. I assisted in surgeries. I remember a guy had gotten shot when he was flying a Chinook at helicopter at that's called the ceiling, as high as it can go.
Uh-huh.
And these mountains were like almost to the top of where that ceiling is, so they could barely scrape by the top of the mountain.
Right.
Wow.
And I remember there was a random insurgent that was sitting up on top of the mountain. Why the heck he was sitting up on a 10,000 foot
Yeah.
mountain, I don't know. But
Yeah.
probably just for the reason what happened is that Chinook was flying over and he took a random pop shot at it. It came up through the floor of this Chinook and shot the pilot in the arm. And they landed shortly after that. And I remember going in and I'm holding this guy's arm and it's like dog meat.
Oh.
It's just, and I'm holding that guy's arm and I took it back in to treat him. And all I'll say that is I've had a variety of different treatments and things I've done. So I know the medical field.
Yeah.
Am I a doctor? No. Was I training to be a PA at the time? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was working my way up to eventually become a doctor. I chose not to do it because of some PTSD I have from in the military and things I saw and did. But what I'm trying to get down to is I understand the whole basics of the medical field. I understand what it takes to be safe from viruses. I've dealt with, having to go to rooms when they have tuberculosis and things. And I worked in a hospital, not just the military hospital, in the civilian hospital. Actually, I worked down right there at Legacy Hospital. I had to go and treat people that had some tuberculosis and other infectious diseases. I had to go and put on the suit on and had to put on the rebreather and the N92 mask at the time and stuff. I had to do all that type of stuff. I understand all that. So don't get me wrong. I've had the training and I've had the experience in it.
So you understand mask wearing?
Yeah, I understand the mask.
Level. Yeah.
A cloth mask has a DPI capability that's drops per inch. It can do up to 300 DPI, or NM is I forget, it's like nanometers thing.
Mm-hmm.
The COVID virus, I think, has it ranges between like a 40 nanometers up to like 150 or so. That's the average size. And they go up and down from there, but that's the average size.
Yeah.
That is half or less the size of what the minimal size that a cloth mask can do. The scientific studies that I've shared on the line before have shown that in order for a cloth mask to be effective, it takes 4 layers of natural silk, not synthetic, but natural silk, in order to stop that from coming through.
So, Joel, what you're really saying is, and making this point, that you know some facts because of the work that you've done, but there are a lot of people that don't know, that rely on what they hear, and that's some of the cause of stress and fear, which we're talking about, and uncertainty is another reason.
What I'm trying to lay this back into is the understanding behind it, and not some of the science pieces behind it. What I'm trying to lay this into is the mob mentality. The mob mentality is, you see the people gathering and saying and doing one thing, and you get on board with that because you're kind of the mob. It's all coming together. And so the mob mentality is this mask push for mask. Now, do I have anything against someone wanting to wear a mask? Wear a mask. You want to wear a mask? Wear it all day long.
But talk about that mob mentality.
But the mob mentality is, I heard noises, Brandy. Yes. Oh, there's a building up a lot of comments. I'll get to the comments in a minute, guys. Yeah. I promise. But the mob mentality is when people are when you get people that are starting to shame or attack or go after people that aren't.
What is it in okay, you said shame and attack. That's what we're talking about. The craze, the shame and attack. What is causing that shame and attack?
The
fear.
Well, yeah.
Fear.
Yeah, in this case, fear is the motivator behind the mob mentality.
Yeah.
But it's all moving them in one direction. And a lot of cases, people don't really understand that. So if in order to break the mob mentality, the more people learn and understand about what they're trying to say, that breaks the mob mentality. Now, I'm not saying everybody's in the same place. No, there are people that actually know what they're saying. They made the judgment and decision to either say mask are good or mask are bad.
They're outliers, but as a whole,
yes,
as a whole psychologically, but the mob mentality really does work. You ever scream for something? You're in a crowd and you're screaming. You don't know why you're doing it, but everybody else is doing it, so I'm gonna do it too. So there's a mob mentality.
Yes, and
suggestion.
History shows mob mentalities there. So yeah, I know you have some more stuff on there, and
you keep going.
Yeah, but I actually want to read some of these comments and stuff.
Sure.
But before I get to this, I just want to wrap around what I was saying. Is the whole thing I'm saying is don't be part of the mob. Do your research, understand what you're saying to.
And don't let fear drive you.
And when I say don't be the mob mentality, is don't be getting on someone else and impressing your thoughts and your desires and your understandings on something. encourage them to do their own research and let them make their own decisions, as is a free country, because you're only pushing that mob mentality further. So, and that goes both ways. That is the anti-maskers and that is the maskers.
There you go. There you go. Stay in your lane,
Stop
people.
it. Just stop it.
Stay in your lane.
Stop it.
Stay in your
Worry
lane.
about yourself and let other people deal with themselves.
Well, and that goes the same for vaccines.
Yeah.
Make your
Vaccine
choice.
or unvaccinated.
Make your choice.
Don't
Make your choice.
push one way
You
or
make
the
your
other.
choice.
You make
We've
your
always been
choice,
about free
and-
choice.
Exactly.
Make your
exactly.
choice.
That goes on both sides.
Yeah,
Nobody cares.
stop
That's on both
bringing up
sides.
to your
Okay.
relative. If you don't get it, you're killing somebody. Stop it.
Other states are not like Oregon. I'm ready to pick up and move. That's what one's called. So you pick up the state and move it. If you can figure that out, let me
If
know.
you can pick up the state and move it, make sure you leave somebody here. She lives in the office.
Leaves a few people here. Shut down school. Shut down school. You decrease the knowledge kids get. Ignorance is a great way to manipulate people. Yep.
Oh, yep. Yes.
Knowledge is power, my friend.
Yes.
They claim 80% vaccine rate will stop COVID, yet the vaccinated still get sick because vaccine does not work. The vaccine,
Wait, real fast before you go there.
Yeah.
What? Yes, they bring up a good point. What happened to herd mentality? Talking about herd. What happened to herd mentality? Herd immunity, not mentality. Herd immunity. That was the last
Herd immunity generally works, but in this case, the vaccine does not work. Herd immunity works if everybody gets it, and then they become naturally immune. That's herd immunity. Not you don't herd vaccine.
Okay, but brother, I got the vaccine. I was trying to communicate, or I was trying to help the herd. I was trying to help you not get it.
Yeah, but the herd immunity does not work that way. You have to get the dang thing. And by the way, the vaccine, and look up, this is the facts. This is the actual facts. The vaccine will not stop you from catching it.
No.
It will not stop you from passing it on to anyone else.
Yeah.
So you getting the vaccine does nothing to help stop him from getting it, me getting it, or your neighbor getting it.
I do have to add this though. It does reduce maybe some symptomology.
Exactly. That's what I was getting to. It all it does is help to reduce the effects it may have on you. And people
So
say,
now we said it, guys. So don't be throwing us off because we didn't say it.
But the key thing is that when they say it'll help stop others from getting it, no, it won't. No. So don't be spreading those lies.
Yeah.
And that's facts. Look it up on any of the vaccine stuff out there.
Absolutely.
CDC says the same thing.
Yep.
45 states have a lot less restrictions than left coast. Yep.
Because Omicron lives here, guys.
By the way, do you know who has the highest restrictions in the country?
Who?
California.
Oh, well, that's.
Yeah. Do you know who has the highest COVID rate and mortality rate in the country? California. So, anyways, being a victim is power. You can hurt people and not being seen as evil because you're a victim.
Oh, whoever said that, you get a gold star. Thank you.
Yep. If you can do the job, the next person if they can do the job, if the next person tried to run for city council, our town will go down in the crapper. What? If they can do the job. If the next person tried to run for the city council, our town would. Oh, okay, I don't know the
context.
Yeah, I don't know the context. So, well, I know we were talking about running and stuff earlier, but I don't know what the sentence meant.
Try to say it again if you can. And
to get some more context to that, I'd like to get your comment out there in context. The increased cases get monies for the government. I don't think it's funding for the government. I think it's money for the businesses because the government's putting out the money, which comes out of your pocket, by the way. Extremes on both sides. Yep, there are extremes on both sides.
Yep.
So Biden dehumanizing and blaming the unvaccinated daily and threatening to rob them of jobs, shopping, living, life is aggression.
That is a thing. That is aggression. It's aggression.
It's aggression. Yep.
Good.
It's coercion.
Yep.
It's abuse of power. It's abuse of office.
Yep. Threats. If you have to resort to threats, you're already powerless.
Yep, exactly. You know, it's any time that any elected official has to resort to threatening the people that they represent to do their will, or threatening them to do something, that is coercion. That is abuse of power, I believe.
Yep. As a business owner, as a business owner who has employees,
there's very few scenarios where that doesn't apply.
Yeah. As a business owner, yeah, you're right. As a business owner who has employees, I would love them to willingly do it because I've presented a big enough, factual enough vision for it to be done. Yeah, if I have to threaten, I'm unsure about my own vision.
Exactly. Here's the thing: is if it's the facts are good enough to speak for themselves, there shouldn't be a need to threaten.
There you go. Ooh.
People will make the decision to do it. if
People
you
generally have common sense.
yeah, I mean, now granted,
You know.
outliers, but
They're outliers.
the outliers won't really matter in the end.
Yeah.
So, would we have so much aggression if there were no COVID mandates, but instead people were given guidelines and allowed to thrive without the division? Yes, I believe so. I believe 90% of our problems out there, when it comes down to it, would be much different.
Yep.
If they would just back off and let people make their own choice. But at this point, it's too late now. They've already done the damage.
Yep.
So, sadly, most doctors wouldn't go on video to talk about it, and it in fear of being canceled. Yep.
Very true.
Yep.
Very true.
Exactly. That's the thing. Is cancel culture is a thing. We had a thing about it before. We'll probably do it again this year.
Yes.
I just plain don't trust anything anymore.
I'm
I'm right there with you. Everything's on the crapper.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Man, there's a ton of them on here.
Keep going.
The most common pre-existing condition leading to death is obesity.
Mm.
That's a big one. At least in America, it is.
Actually, yeah.
I don't think they'd agree with you in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Obesity decreases your ability to fight.
That's a good point, actually. That's a really good point.
Well, yeah, every country is subjective to that one.
Yeah.
Obesity decreases your ability to fight just like it does against any other disease.
Very true.
Don't be afraid, but instead empower yourself. Turmeric, vitamin D, zinc, exercise, rest, and eat healthy. That is a quote of a comment. That is not me giving doctor advice.
Okay, well, I was gonna give a name to that, and if Miss S is watching it, I hope it's her that said it.
Yeah, but
related to the F guy. I can't say the word.
I'm not going to go there, but hey, guys, that was a quote. Just so you know,
that's good.
So, fear breaks down your immune system, makes you more prone to illness. Knowledge is only power if you review all sides, not just your side. That's very true.
That's true. That's true.
That's the thing is, don't just review. Look at both sides.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Yes.
I do.
Objectively.
I do. Yeah, be willing to look at it. The fact is that you may be wrong.
Well,
and I've been wrong many times.
We've been accused as a show of not being objective.
Yeah.
We're saying, I don't know how many times we've said, review both sides and come up with an educated decision.
In many cases, we put out facts. We also put out our opinions.
We have opinions.
Yeah, damn right, I have opinion. I have lots of opinion.
But you share more of yours than I do of mine.
I put a lot of my opinions out there. I'm waiting about them.
Hey, you guys, I'm waiting to put out some opinions. It might shock him, actually.
Yeah. I'm not shockable anymore. Nothing shocks me anymore.
You don't trust anybody anymore.
Media is now tabloid, not news. Let's agree. My kid had a requirement in school to write a paper from the opposing person's view. Great skill. I agree.
I love that. Love that.
Man, oh my goodness, there's just so many of them.
Keep going. Read them out.
I'm working on it. People forget recalls are part of the democratic process.
Thank
Both sides
you.
get a voice. Yep, both sides do get a voice. Exactly. Why such a crazed, hateful response to a normal process in our democracy? Because usually the crazed part comes from those who know they don't have a leg to stand on.
Usually. Or
they're trying to bully them way out of it.
Or people deal with rejection too, and they don't take rejection well. Sometimes people don't take rejection well, so it could be that, says the counselor. I'm just saying.
I'll go with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you think that the Labor Day wildfires of 2020 traumatized our town?
Yes.
Just a little bit. My daughter still talks about it.
Yep. Let me. I gotta piggyback on that one. So one of the things I got a chance to do at the relief center is to go down and talk to people who were traumatized by the fires, and they were a lot of our neighbors. And so it was a shared experience because I was going through my own trauma about being displaced. And I thought it was the best time for me to go down and help someone else because it got my mind off of my own trauma. At the same time, I knew I was being taken care of, and taking care of someone else just gave me a chance to feel that there's other people that know what I'm going through as well. So yeah, we'll never forget that. I think it's something that either can bond us or to break us, and I hope it bonds us.
I hear you there. This one says, I'm not a victim either. I'm a survivor!
I'm a survivor! Yeah! I'm a believer.
Yeah, I'm not going to sing for your own safety. Well, when I had COVID at the same time Joel and Brandy did, I ended up in the hospital and almost died, and then spent 2 weeks in ICU and never saw any of the therapeutic drugs being used in other states. They don't care if you die or not. In blue states, they will not give you any therapeutics. It's almost like murder. I totally agree. I know exactly who this is.
Joel, take that.
And I'm not going to say your name. That's your personal thing. But you know what? I was about to march down there and to overturn some heads there just to get that taken care of for you. But I'm glad that you're doing much better, and we love you guys.
And let me say that too. I'm glad that you guys are doing so much better too. And I've been hearing third hand, but you're loved. You're loved on a greater scale than you can ever imagine. So.
Yes. Do you think that the medical world is ambivalent about Omicron? Well, considering 30% of the people chose not to get the vaccine and quit because of the way things are going and the way they're working Omicron, I'd say not all of them. Mm-hmm. So, read comments. Okay, I'm reading comments.
Read comments. That was from Randy.
Yes, that was from Randy. I'm trying to catch up on.
Read comments. Come on.
There's so many of them. You guys are doing.
We're
great.
not complaining. Keep them going.
I'm getting your comments on the best
I don't have anything else planned. I mean, I'm gonna close my computer. No. They're good. Okay.
Yeah. When they lock down law-abiding citizens down, we're just going to start calling this the viewer show.
I know
that's what it is.
The viewer
and you know
show.
what? It is about you guys.
It is about you guys.
So,
come on.
When they lock the law-abiding citizens down, they set criminals free without requiring lockdown, and many people suffered greatly by prior peeps coming back and tormenting them.
Yeah.
There might be a story behind that. I don't know.
Hey, bro, you know what this actually tells me? You made a joke about it, but making this a show that people actually respond to. People want to talk. Yep. That's one thing about as we become more isolated with our ideas, people want to come into a think tank and actually put their opinion out there. So, good.
I'm currently working on getting it set up so people can call into the show.
Yes! We're going to try to do call-ins, guys!
We're trying. We're working on it. Give us some time to get that technology together still.
Hey, but you know what? We're always looking for people who just want to be champions and
Yep.
give to the cause.
Along with that, though, we got to have someone that can actually answer those calls.
Yeah, so if you can answer calls, that'd be good.
All right. Oregon is very verbal about refusing the meds to anyone not caught up on vaccines. Yeah, don't even get me started on that. Go back and watch the episode. We talk about COVID.
Yep.
I think it's mentioned something about COVID on there.
Mm-hmm.
It was about a few months ago.
Yep.
With Governor Kate's emergency mandate until June 30th, 2022, can she reduce capacity in restaurants and other businesses? Yes, she can.
Yep.
She can shut everything that she's done before. She can go back and do it again at a whim.
Yes.
And there's nothing because the legislature has approved this emergency mandate, everything is done by the book this time, as far as what I can tell. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot that if she makes a mandate, she's actually within the law to do so. The only way to fight this as a citizen is to do recalls on people that are voted to allow her to do this thing.
I don't know if you know anything about recalls though, so keep that to yourself.
I'm learning more about recalls right now. Recalls are the power of the people to have a voice when they're not happy with the representatives.
Actually, you don't know anything about recalls because you're not recalling. So there you go. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if one comes to me eventually.
What did you say? What did you say?
I said I wouldn't be surprised if one comes on me eventually.
But what did you say earlier about that?
That hey, you know what? If one comes, I mean, this is my thing is if the people choose, if the recall comes and the people
put it out there
to run to sign enough petition to say that I shouldn't be there, and it goes to a run, and the vote's done, and the people vote someone else in, then I will graciously leave office.
That's what I like about this guy, because what you see is what you get. He's not going to sidestep for anybody. So
no lawsuits threatened. I don't care if you come up and said I'm a poo-poo head and
I've said that a lot.
hate cheese. It doesn't matter what it is because
You do cut the cheese, though. You cut the cheese a lot.
Whatever reasons they want to put in there, yes. That's their choice, you know.
Yeah.
And they can put whatever they want in there. The law says that they have to prove their facts and be ready to prove them. Yeah. And, and anything they say.
But wait a minute. Are you going to threaten to sue people if they recall you, though?
Of course not.
Okay. I was just wondering. Of course not. I don't think you need the money, but, still.
No.
Is that an ethical? I don't know. Anyways,
no. The thing is,
I'll leave it alone.
And so
I'll leave it alone. There you go.
Anyways, but yeah.
Okay, sorry guys. Here we go.
Brown needs to shut down Oregon to push her choice for the next governor. Probably, yeah. It's funny the timing, election year. Suddenly a whole new Omicron comes and all those shutdowns coming down. All this crazy stuff happens election year.
Yep. The election virus.
Shocking.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
To put into perspective, paint like what you would spray from a can or on the car can get through these masks, and COVID viruses is smaller than that.
Wow. Oh.
There you go. Mob mentality causes by fear is basically peer pressure. Yep.
Ooh,
There
yes.
you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
it
Peer
is.
pressure. There you go.
It is peer pressure. Yeah.
Fear is generated from mass hysteria and spreads like a virus.
Yes, it does.
Fear is more dangerous than any virus you'll get out there.
There you go. There you go. Actually, the basic human threat is fear. That's the basic human threat. It started from the beginning of creation, the way Adam and Eve responded, to the end of the crucifixion. Fear and herd mentality is a threat to humanity.
Yeah, exactly. So here's the thing, guys. We still got about another 20 different comments on here, maybe 15, right?
You heard the wife. We got to read them all.
But the thing is, we're also 10 minutes over our time, and we've already hit an hour and a half.
Should we take a break? Oh, wait a minute. We already meet up.
You need to read some of these still.
Okay,
Yes.
the wife said it.
So I'm gonna read what's on here, but no new comments. I'm gonna be able to read because you're already over. We're gonna finish this up. But yeah, I just want to point out this is why we went to an hour.
Is that
and a
a
half.
threat?
It's not a threat. I'm just not gonna
good.
read
I
it.
was just wondering.
So there's a few longer ones in here I'm gonna read.
Sweet.
But the key thing I want to say here is that this is why we went to an hour and a half, because we have a lot of interaction from you guys and we want to get it
And
out
we
here.
love it.
And we love to talk. So
Oh,
it's
and let
awesome.
me just say really fast. Actually, do the same for Brandy's tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
Brandy's show.
7 p.m. It's called Campfire Discussions with
Yes.
Brandy.
Mob her with
Yes.
all questions and comments.
She doesn't have the same thing that Tony and I have, where we can bounce off each other and
Yes.
make fun of each other. And
Well, she will tomorrow.
well, she has someone coming on tomorrow. I'm not going to spoil that.
Okay.
That's her thing. But
You can say it.
the person who's doing the recall on Katie Dunsmore is going to be on the show tomorrow, and that's Kathy Fernstead.
Yeah. So tune in tomorrow. We want
Yes.
we want her to get better ratings than us.
Yes, and the thing is, but normally she doesn't have somebody sitting here with her.
Yeah.
And so having interaction from the crowd is absolutely critical, because she's doing her thing, talking about her subjects, but she's also trying to interact and have a
I love
two-way
her show.
pass back and forth.
Yeah.
And so it'll be even better once we get some of this technology set up with like Zoom and phone calls and stuff.
And the cool thing about Brandy's show is it's like, guys, it's literally like you want to get your coffee and you want to sit there and you want to just listen to Brandy talk.
by the
because
way-
she just keeps going.
By the way, I was working on some of the pissed off Patriot stuff the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some cool stuff.
Oh,
Dude, I am so excited for some of the pissed off Patriot stuff coming out.
Nice.
I'm gonna be stripping the lines. By the way, you probably have until the end of the week to get anything off our current merch site that you might want.
Yeah.
Because I'm stripping all of the current lines off of there, and we're gonna be rebuilding them.
The pissed off Patriot.
Yeah, and then there's also the website's gonna be changing in the next couple of weeks as well.
Nice.
We're gonna have a whole bunch of new stuff going on. I know there might be some old things that might come back on, like our generic logos,
Yeah.
shirts, and things like that for people who
So
want those.
good.
But the pissed off Patriot line, I'm really excited. There's some cool stuff coming out there. Let me just give you a hint. Some of the items lay on the foundation of our founding fathers.
Ooh.
I'll go with that.
Love it.
So fear is generated. I always said that. Stop allowing the division. Each of us to work together and allow others to work with ya. Stop listening to rumors. Love each other. Stop forcing people to see your side. Well, that's a big one. Stop forcing people to see your side. Well, I skipped too many?
You skipped the major one right before that.
Oh, hold on. I'll get back to it in a second. Stop. This is all one big comment, by the way. Stop focusing on the people to see your side. This is what I keep saying. So much hate in our world. Only love can drive our hate.
Love it.
Yep. The mayor wants to know how we can solve the division in our city.
You know what? I can say this. Here it is. And you may, if it's the mayor asking this question, you do it very well. And you know what you do? You just listen. You listen. You have 2 ears and a mouth. 2 ears. I don't do it very well. I do it in my profession. But you listen. Listen for what the person is trying to say, not what their words say, what their heart says, but listen to them. Every person has an opinion. They're like, everybody has one, but it's coming from an honest place. So we don't suspect that someone means to harm us by sharing their opinion, but listen to what they say.
That's not saying the mayor needs to do. That means we all need to do.
Well,
that.
I think if this is a person that's coming from the mayor, I'm saying this is what the mayor does.
This is what the mayor does.
This is what the mayor does.
This is what we need to do too. We need to basically the less we do this,
Yep.
and the more we open our ears,
Yep.
the more we can receive and learn and understand.
So I don't mean any
Sometimes
harm,
you-
but we need to
basically
shut up.
shut up and listen.
Shut up. Yeah.
But that's much better than my idea. My idea was going to be celebrity deathmatch, but I like his much better.
Yours sounds a little angry and aggressive.
That's one way to work out your aggression, I guess. Oh boy, that means you're gonna come. Okay, hey Tony, Joel and Co. From Tim. Oh boy, that means you're gonna need a screener if you do call-ins. Otherwise, you're gonna get prank calls like Love Line and Adam Carolla and Dr. Do radio show got back in the 90s.
So is he actually applying?
I don't think
Tim applying?
I don't,
or whoever it is?
I don't think he wants to sit there and take those calls.
Man, if you're applying,
but there's some people I could think of that might be interested in that. But it's not going to be exactly that way. It's going to be a little bit different way we're going to do it. So,
good suggestions, guys.
Yeah, good suggestions. We're not doing the standard call in, pick up a phone. It's going to be a little bit different. So I already suspected all that.
Yeah.
But we're also doing it. We're doing the new technology. We're using Zoom. They'll have a phone number they can call into.
I want Biden to call.
Basically, bringing you into a Zoom call, and then allowing you to talk through the Zoom call with us, and then it'll be taking you back off it.
Hey guys,
I heard what he said. I just ignored him.
I want Biden to call.
Yeah, he won't call. We better get Brandon.
Well, what will you call us?
We can probably get Brandon to call.
We can get Brandon to call.
Yeah.
Oh, you better go, Brandon.
By the way,
you better go.
I am working on trying to get a very special guest out here. I'm not going to spoil who.
Yes.
But I don't know if they'll reach back out to me because I'm sure they're being flooded with calls right now. But I'm going to keep trying.
But there's no show like the Backwoods Brothers, so there you go.
We actually, just so you know,
and the Backwoods Sisters.
We have some big guests are going to be on this year and some big hopes and stuff.
We have a good.
In fact,
lineup.
as soon as we're done here, we've got about a 2-hour planning session to go through.
I know.
As a master pro once said, fear is the only darkness. Fear is the only darkness. He's exactly right. As Master Pro once said, fear is the only darkness.
Yep.
He's exactly right. Fear is one of the most powerful adversaries that we can fight in our lives. Fear erects the imaginary barriers that hold us back from taking risk and chasing our dreams.
Woo!
Fear is an uningrained survival mechanism and one of the greatest obstacles we face in our lives as conscious beings. But when it is being generated by the same faction that is supposed to be protecting us and looking out for the citizens, it creates more than a fear, a realization it is now every man for himself attitude. The government clearly has shown its ignorance and willingness to think everyone is too stupid to see that that all they want is control and dominance over its subjects. That is a great wrap up to that.
That is, I
have nothing to say beyond that.
Whoever did that needs to write a book.
Damn straight.
Or be a motivated speaker.
Man, that was
good.
Was very eloquent.
That was eloquent. I think I know who did it, but because we got some pretty smart people on.
We know a few. Good,
we know
a
some
few
smart
good men,
people.
a few smart people.
Yeah,
and
wise,
very loving
wise.
ladies.
Beyond your ears.
Beyond your ears, behind your ears.
Behind your ears too.
Behind your ears. I watched those. I watched those this year.
You did?
Yeah.
I
did my annual shower.
You did your annual shower?
Yeah.
You know it takes like 3. I knew it. Can we say it?
Yeah.
It was Frank. I knew it. I was like, okay, he's sitting up there. I could just see him right there writing.
By the
that
way,
whole
you know
thing.
what's amazing?
Yeah.
I haven't told him yet, and I'm hoping that his schedules do it. But it's supposed to be. Hopefully, I'm on next week for the show.
Next week. So Frank,
Frank
bring your philosopher self on.
If you're available, I would like to have you on the show next week.
Yeah, bring your philosopher self on. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I don't
Love
know.
that man.
I haven't got a chance to call you. But
Jeremy's supposed to be on too.
Yeah, Jeremy. I think we're supposed to have him on. Not next week, but the week after next.
Or something. You make the schedule. You're the boss.
We're trying to go.
He's the boss.
We're trying to go every other week with somebody, as we're trying to do. So.
Hey, bro, I called you a boss.
Yeah, I know. I was ignoring it too.
Hey, well, okay, so guys, I got to tell you this real fast.
No,
I called him a boss one time. He goes, "Don't call me a boss because somehow, if you're, I'm gonna say it. He's so culturally sensitive that he thought me calling him a boss is kind of going back to like me calling him Mastasa. I don't know where he got it from. He's more conscious of that than I am. But I just call him a boss.
You said yes, a boss.
I did not say yes, a boss.
Yes, you did.
No, he's a liar. Go close the show.
That was what you said to me.
Mastasa. Go close the show.
Oh, stop it. Oh my goodness.
Sorry,
Let's
guys.
just went a different direction.
I love you guys. That's fine.
Okay, guys. Well, a couple things real quick. Just a reminder: love the flag.
Yes.
Support the Constitution with the Word of God.
Yep.
And don't forget to pray for our soldiers and our law enforcement.
Absolutely.
Thanks, you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you next week, 7 p.m. We'll be talking about something. Actually, we'll hopefully have Frank on talking about something.
Something.
I don't know. we'll see. We'll see what pops up and what Frank wants to put on.
I was gonna say with that last word, he might just steal the show. We might just have to do it. Yeah.
Well, you know, I might just read what he writes and call it good. But
Yeah,
hey,
right.
guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Make sure you buy the merch
Deep
if
Thoughts.
you like it now, because a lot of them will be gone. They will not be coming back.
Deep Thoughts by Frank.
Today on Backwoods Brothers, we'll be having Deep Thoughts by Frank.
We love you guys.
Anyways, guys, have a good night. See you next time.